Welcome to Factocalypse. Today we're gonna talk about 10 horror films based on true stories. Number 10. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. This film tells the story of a group of friends tormented by a psychopathic murderer called Leatherface. Though the film's plot is fictional, the character of Leatherface is partly based on real-life American serial killer Ed Gein, who was found in possession of 9 human skin masks when he was arrested. In his apartment, police also found the furniture made out of human remains. Gein was an inspiration for many other fictional villains. Number 9. A Nightmare on Elm Street. The 1984 classic horror movie by Wes Craven tells the story about a psychopathic murderer, Freddy Krueger, who visits his victims when they are most vulnerable, in their dreams. The makers of this movie were inspired by so-called Asian death syndrome. According to a number of stories which were published in the Los Angeles Times in 1981, 104 men with the average age of 33 died in their sleep. Autopsy reports could not come up with any medical explanations for the deaths of those unrelated men. The medical reports said there was nothing wrong with them physically. There was also a big story about a Cambodian family who fled to US. The nightmares haunted their son. They were so bad that he kept hot coffee on his bedside table and secretly spit out his sleeping pills. After many sleepless nights, he finally fell asleep, but the same night he died. Number 8. The Rite. The movie tells the story of a seminarian who goes on a journey to Italy to attend a class in exorcism. It is there that he has to deal with a number of paranormal phenomena. It is based on the life of one of the most famous exorcists of America, Father Gary Thomas, who is one of only 14 trained and certified exorcists in the world. The journalist Matt Ballio wrote a book about him, which served as an inspiration for the events in the film. This movie will scare the hell out of you. Number 7. Borderland. Here we go with religious movies again, but this time, however, we'll not encounter any demons. Trio of college buddies visit a Mexican border town hoping for a break from the lawfulness of the states. They are shortly kidnapped by a human-sacrificing cult. Film was inspired by the story of Adolfo de Jes Constanzo, a leader of a cult where human sacrifice was openly practiced. Constanzo kidnapped and killed members of drug cartels when he was denied a share in the business. Then used fragments of their bodies in his concussions and spells. He was caught in 1989 after murdering an American student. Number 6. Deliver Us from Evil. In this one we see how a New York policeman and priest have joined forces to fight against impure powers. The events in the film are unlikely to be rooted in the real world, but are based on Ralph Sarchi's book called Beware the Night, a memoir filled with true stories about his work as a demonologist. So the main character in the movie is modeled on the existing man. Who knows, maybe what Sarchi wrote also happened for real. Number 5. Eaten Alive. This feature tells the story of guests of a provincial hotel in Texas, with its owner holding a crocodile that is said to be used for eating leftovers. But as we all learn, the owner has a thing for feeding his victims to his favorite pet. The most interesting thing about Eaten Alive, however, is its claim to have been based on a true story of bar owner Joe Ball, who was later found to have murdered 2 women in 1930s, but was rumored to have killed many more. Their bodies were fed to an alligator. Number 4. The Mothman Prophecies. In this movie from 2002 we can see Richard Gere himself. The actor plays a role of a man whose wife sees a mysterious Mothman before she dies. John soon arrives to a small town where other people with these visions also live. The movie is based on a book by a journalist, John Keel. His book was inspired by his own investigations into Mothman in West Virginia's Point Pleasant. In 1966 and 67, several locals reported seeing a winged creature with red eyes over the course of a year. Number 3. Strangers. A family returning to their semi-secluded house after attending a wedding finds their lives suddenly thrown into chaos with the arrival of 3 malevolent, weird-masked strangers. The director of this movie drew inspiration from different stories. Murders by a band of Manson, who murdered 5 people during an attack on householders in Polanski's villa. Another one is much more personal, and it's based on a series of events that took place near his childhood home. As a kid, a stranger appeared at his door, asked for someone who didn't live there, and left. He later found out that a series of break-ins occurred in his neighborhood that night. The last motive used in the film is the story of murders from Seda, California. Mother and 3 of her children were found dead, resting in a holiday home. Number 2, Dead Ringers, one of the most interesting and ingenious productions on our list. The film by David Cronenberg follows identical twins and gynecologists, both played by Jeremy Irons, when they capriciously share one another's lovers, priding themselves on that fact that their little game has never been detected. At one point, one of them falls into psychosis and starts to mistreat his patients. The plot is based on a story of 2 gynecologist brothers, Stuart and Cyril Marcus, whose seemingly idyllic life ended with drug overdose in 1975. And number 1, Jaws. Here comes my all-time favorite, an absolute classic that I could watch over and over again. Steven Spielberg's film follows police chief Martin Brody as his beachside town is attacked by a great white shark. Jaws drew inspiration from a spate of shark attacks in Jersey Shore in 1916, where 5 people died due to a shark attack. Have you heard about other horror movies based on real stories? Tell us in the comments below. Also, don't forget to click that subscribe button and see you soon.